televised format where Daffy and Bugs would host the best Warner Brothers cartoons. So I know them backwards, and they're a landscape and a social commentary and a legacy that goes back through eras. The ones from the, I think, late 30s into the 40s were very reefer. You know, the guys on Termite Terrace, you just went. I don't think Jack Warner really knew what was going on up there. As long as there was a cartoon. I think he said that once, "Is Mickey Mouse ours?" You know, that sort of stuff. I loved it. Then when I went and studied mime and theatre and movement in Paris, I just looked at them and went, those characters, Foghorn Leghorn, Yosemite Sam, Bugs, they're all great, indestructible archetypes. And, you know, when VCRs came out, if you froze the frame, you went, this is not Hanna-Barbera. This is not fast running from Snagglepuss, which is probably 12 frames a second or something. This was a big, rich, glorious 24 frames a second. And the dynamics of the artwork I found absolutely extraordinary. And the other guy was Bob Monkhouse, who was an English comedian and television personality. And he had a show called Mad Movies. And he would, every Saturday night in Brisbane, where I was at 6:30, that show would be on. And he would show silent film clips. And not just the big four, like not just Chaplin and Keaton and Harold Lloyd and whoever, Larry Seaman, whatever. He would also show the minor comedians. You know, there was Billy Bevan, who was actually from Sydney, and I found that fascinating. He was one of the Keystone Cops, you know. And Snub Pollard, and, you know, Alison John, they all had great clown quirks. So when Adam Elliott came up to me and said, he came up to some event like this where I was doing a talk, and at the end he said, I've got a script. I said, sure, I'll read it. And I took it home, and I was busy doing a play or something. And then I read it, and I went, this is great. This is like a 25-minute film. The imagination is crazy. The humor is very oblique and good. And I called him up and I said, yeah, we'll do it. We can probably put down the whole thing in one track to start with, because he was making it in his backyard, in his underwear, because it was summer. And a 25-minute film in clay motion where he would probably go, I got a second of film, you know what I mean? Because he'd be out there just manipulating and clicking it off. And then he said, sometime later, he said, I need to readjust the narration a bit. And then further down the track, he said, oh, guess what? I'm on the short list to be in the Annecy Film Festival. I said, what's that? He said, oh, it's the big animated prize. I said, fantastic, that would be great. He wins the audience prize and the jury prize. 6 months later, he says, I'm on the short list of the Academy. And I said, fantastic, it's a great film, you know. And then he wins the Academy Award. When the Minions guys came to me, and it was a narration job, I just said I would do anything, because it's a kind of, I think they're all Belgian, aren't they? Their sense of humour, and this particular one was the history of the world, you know what I mean? And they're just they're like the Three Stooges in a funny kind of way. People used to say they're too violent, but they're hilarious violent. Because they hit each other in the head with hammers, and you go, that must really hurt. But he's doing it because he's going, shut up. We all do that. You know. So I've always loved it. The brothers Key, they asked me to do a film once. But it clashed with something, and I knew that being live action in one of their films would be months and months and months of work. and then can you come back in 6 months and months and months and months again? So it's just a hard one to make practical.